Well, we've finished a 20-year restoration of that now. It's one of the few remaining urban slave quarters in the country. Certainly one of the few you can tour and have it interpreted for you. A couple of $100,000 have gone in there to turn it back into the building that it was in 1859. So our volunteers take you through. You see building techniques, preservation techniques, how it was fixed, and you'll see who lived there and what they did. So you get a full view of slavery in 1861, 59, that kind of area. And we're really excited to have it because it's so unusual to be able to find that and look through it. We took it back with a federal grant and with state oversight and other things as well. We took it back with exactly the same materials. We recycled everything that we could recycle that was already in the building, that wasn't basically eaten by termites. We put it all back. And then we used the same mixture of mortar, we used the same glass, we used the same everything you can possibly find to make it about as close to 1859 construction as you can. One of the things about that Bellamy site is it was finished in 1861, the major house on the site. So it's right at the beginning of the Civil War. So the idea when you come, the story that we're telling is that the whole country is about to change radically and that the lives of slaves is about to be completely altered, and everybody else for that matter. And so we have that moment where we can show people what history, when it changes, and we do that through sort of the lens of the house and the slave quarters, and basically through the lives of the people who live there. And that's how our docents tell that story when they walk through. So anybody taking the tour gets a full view of like architectural history and social history, all rolled up into one and all right at an incredibly pivotal moment. Well, if anybody owns an old house, or just a house in general, you know how much it costs to keep it going, right? Run the systems, fix stuff, and like that. A 10,000 square foot house in an 1859 slave quarters cost that and then some. I think painting the outside of the Bellamy in the white paint is about $70,000 to do it in one shot. And it's cool that we can get to preserve it in that way, because then we can show people how they can preserve their old houses. We do workshops on like how to restore brick, how to restore old windows and things like that, because if you put the value back into an old house, it actually pays off much more in the future than not. And also it's environmentally sound to not demolish a house. We do environmental days and green tours and things like that where we talk about building techniques, but also the preservation side of it, which I find really fascinating. One of the key moments of that is when you convince somebody or teach somebody that saving an old building makes them money or saves them money, and suddenly they think, oh right, yeah. It's not about demolishing this and putting something else up. I'll do better if I keep what I've got and restore it. One of the exhibits next year will be from Preservation North Carolina that owns the Bellamy. And what they do is they find old buildings, either get them donated or buy them, which are in terrible shape, fix them up somewhat, sell them to somebody who's going to take that on, and they'll end up making money and getting tax credits for it by the time they put in a lot of money into the big project. And so we teach about how that sort of side of preservation can work and how it's really good for pretty much everybody. It's a win-win situation. We have gallery space up in the bedroom level. We had Ivy Hayes, we had an African American quilt exhibit, we had photography exhibits. So things come through, and next year you won't have seen the slave quarters in the state that it's in right now finished like this before. So we have things which change in there all the time. We're working on our interpretation. We always update, our tour and things like that. So if you come back over time, it sort of evolves. The place sort of changes a little bit and you get a slightly different experience of it every time you come in, hopefully a better one.